Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading for the week of April 10th. We're just going to jump right in here, Scorpio. And in your current general energies, you have this unseen card. It says, though you don't see it now, there's something better. And you have the Knight of Pentacles. So I kind of feel like there's a permanent change coming in for you. Something, for a lot of you, I do feel it's like a financial change for the better that's coming in here. It could also be love. So if you want something permanent in love, for example, this could be like a permanent love connection. And, I feel like it'll be a victory as well. Could be something long distance with that Chariot. But it makes perfect sense with the King of Pentacles because, King of Pentacles is Taurus. We have Uranus in Taurus, and I feel a lot of people are going to be kind of looking for a person that they can build with, a person that they can build and leave a legacy with, more or less. And it looks like that's what you are creating here if you want love. Even if you don't want love, you could still be building and leaving a legacy, but it could be like in business, or maybe you're doing something that will leave your mark on the world, right? And I kind of get that energy from this reading in general, that you are kind of very focused on something permanent, creating permanence in your life. And again, like I said, a lot of people are because of Uranus and Taurus, but I think maybe you're just extra focused on it. So it just feels like a little bit extra for you here, Scorpio. And that's kind of what I'm getting from this King of Pentacles energy. I would also say if you're worrying about money, because I do feel like money worries, but it's I feel like you're clearing things up very, very quickly here. It's almost like you could be worried about money for no reason. As in, it's I'm not saying there's no reason, but I feel like you could be improving your finances much more quickly than you realize. And I think you need to think about that, I almost feel like there's really nothing to worry about, or I feel like you should be just kind of letting your financial worries go. I feel like you've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes to improve your finances. With the Temperance card is kind of what I'm getting. So, I don't know. That's what I'd say there. It just looks to me like you're turning things around. Temperance is about, alchemy, turning one thing into another. I do feel like for some of you, it's there could be an opportunity. If you're working on a project or something and maybe it hasn't been going the right direction, I feel like there's an opportunity to maybe turn it into something else, turn it from one thing into another. So don't be afraid to do that. It's I don't really have any good examples, but it's sometimes I think people think that they want to start a blog, right? And their blog doesn't do very well. And it's why not start a YouTube channel with all the information that's on your blog, right? It's you could be taking something and turning it into something else. And so I would start thinking about that, by the way. If you're working on a project that isn't working, whatever it is, it's how can you turn it into something else? Can you turn a blog into a book? Maybe you could turn a book into a blog, whatever. Whatever you can do to make it work, right? And, justice is cause and effect. But for some reason, you go up here to the Two of Swords. She looks like Lady Justice, the Two of Swords. So, for a lot of you, I'm wondering if you're just not seeing a way that you can turn something around, or again, I'm not saying you're wasting your time, but sometimes I feel going Justice to a Swords is basically not paying attention to cause and effect, something that actually could be working much better. So it's instead of trying to force something to work, there could be something that just flows, something that just kind of works for you. And, I would be thinking about that, especially in work or business, but also love. Obviously, if you're trying to force something to work in love and it doesn't work, then you have a problem. With the King of Pentacles, you have the Garden. By the way, I'm using this Lenormand deck to clarify this week. And the Garden is all about kind of abundance, something that's growing. It can also represent enjoyment, kind of partying, celebrating with people in your life and things like that. And so I kind of feel that here, where a lot of you need more social time, especially if you want love, by the way. With that King of Pentacles, you have to socialize. You're going to have to get out in public, right? With the Temperance card, you have the Coffin. Something is coming to an end. The Coffin, I always say in the Lenormand, but all in the Tarot on the Judgment card, pretty much any other Oracle deck, the Coffin kind of says the coffin is the old life, outside the coffin is the new life, and the coffin is all about having that death or that rebirth, right? Kind of going from a past life into a new life, and that's what you could be doing here. With the Coffin card is kind of going through some sort of death transformation. With the Justice card, you have this Fox, and the Fox is all about sneaky energy. So I would be careful. Some of you, what I'm getting here is that going this way, it's like there could have been a person in your life who was kind of like sneaky, or who, kind of had, I feel like it's like a person who put up a front, it's like, I don't even think, for some of you, it's not even all that bad, but maybe they're not a bad person, but I also feel they are kind of like manipulative in the sense that they kind of do things with intentions. It's like there's like always a motive behind the things that they do in like love, relationships, whatever. So it's like some of you could have been dealing with a person like that, where it's like maybe they're not a terrible person, but I do feel like they're manipulative. I would be careful because Mercury retrograde could bring back a person. Next, you have this karmic cycle card. It says, a clear money karma. We literally said that. It says, act with respect and integrity when it comes to money, yours and that of other people in your life, and you will more likely be in good financial standing in the future. So I feel for a lot of you, it's like you could be being, I feel like the universe is kind of asking you to take care of your finances, or maybe to improve your money or something like that. And you could be taking the actions to do that with this card, but I would like start doing it. I also would end any karmic cycles with a person if you have a sneaky person like this. You have the Chariot, the High Priestess, and the Star. The Chariot, of course, is a card of a victory, so I feel for a lot of you there could be some sort of win coming in here. It is interesting that we go this way. You have Tower Sun, which is great, because that says that that kind of makes the Tower more positive, to the Page of Pentacles. So for some of you, if you're moving, the Tower can also just represent a move. Then, I feel this move could be very positive for you. Total new beginning. For others, I kind of feel like there is a shocking surprise coming in for you. I'm not sure what it is yet. We're going to have to find out. But it is like a little bit of a mystery. The other thing is I do feel this could be like a good bad Tower. Where maybe you've known that this person was sneaky or sly, or always kind of trying to work some sort of deal. I feel like I get that type of feeling. I don't know how to describe what I'm getting, other than, I feel like this person, it's like there was always some like hidden motive behind the things that they do, and that they never told anyone about, right? So that, like, someone who has trauma. And I feel like maybe it's a good bad Tower, because maybe you're finally getting the proof that that's who that person is. So it's like good because it's like you're getting the answers, but it's bad because obviously, maybe you left the person, or whatever the case may be. I also feel there could be like new love coming in for you, and it may be a little bit of a mystery how it's going to come together. But I feel like this is something you've been wishing for. So if you want love, I do feel that there could be love coming in for you. Definitely love that you've been wishing for, but it's like a little bit of a mystery, like I said, in like how to get it, or how it's going to come together. It could involve a move here, but obviously this is like two people working together. So, for a lot of you, I feel if you're attracting a new person, it's like the two of you will work together to make this work. With the Chariot, you have the book, which is all about education and learning. Normally on a traditional Lenormand deck, the book is closed, and it can represent like hidden or secret information, needing to learn about something. It basically says that, there is information, right, that exists, but you have to go and learn it, so it's kind of hard to describe, but it's like maybe you have a job, maybe you want to be more successful. If you got this card, it would say you need to go learn more about the job, because then you'll make more money because you'll know more. And but again, there is definitely secrets here, like being exposed, and I feel like you are learning about like some secrets or something secretive. With the High Priestess, you have this dice card. So this card kind of represents gambling and, taking risks and things like that. It also, in this deck, this is not a traditional Lenormand card, but it kind of represents, having faith that things are going to go in your favor. And I definitely feel that here for you, Scorpio, where it's like something is going in your favor. I get it like this way. It's like you don't see something yet here, Scorpio. I'm not trying to be mysterious either. I think that, it's like, I think if our life has been the same for too long, and if we're in some sort of cycle, it can almost feel a little bit impossible that things are actually going to improve. But I feel like things are going to improve big time here because you earned it. With the Star, love it. You have the Clover. The Clover is a great card of luck, success, like a 4-leaf clover, obviously. So I feel like there's like luck is really on your side, and I feel like you need to realize that here with the Star card and the Sun. Star in the sun is fame and fortune here, and the clover can also represent like some sort of second chance coming in for you. Going this way here, I feel it could be a second chance in love. Even this way, it's like there's a new person coming in for you, and I really feel like you feel like you are getting a second chance. Like there's it's not as in a person coming back from the past. It's like you feel like a second chance because you feel like you're finding true love, if this happens to be love. Same thing in work. It's like maybe you've been trying to get something. I feel like I say this to you all the time. I really get this feeling here for you, Scorpio, all the time, that if you're like working on a project or a business that you really want to be successful, I really feel that you could be creating something or doing something that will be very successful. But it's like something that you've wanted to do. It's almost like it's something you tried before. You have this in the works card. It says, it has already begun. Nothing else to be done. What you wants you. I don't know. I had to like double check that one for some reason, but I feel like there could be love. And maybe that's the shocking surprise here, is that maybe you're interested in a person and they're actually interested in you and you can't believe it. But again, as they say, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, right? So I feel for a lot of you, it's like, you could be a little bit surprised. It's kind of funny that you have the Two of Swords here, because I feel like if you're interested in a person, then you're shocked that they're actually interested in you. The Two of Swords to me is like, okay, now what? It's like she is like, oh my God, I can't believe that this actually happened. It feels a little bit unreal, and now I have to make these changes. This new island behind her kind of represents a new opportunity or something she's never done before. I always say that new island represents an obstacle. But it's not a bad obstacle. It's like the obstacle of having to learn a new person, if it's a person. It's the obstacle of having to learn a new job, if it's a new job, or whatever it is for you. But I always say she needs to get to that new island because that's where like everything she wants exists. You have the sun and the tower. You also have the star in the same diagonal as a tower, which makes the tower a little bit better. You always get the tower. It is your card, Scorpio, so it makes perfect sense. I always say, to me, the tower is not a bad card. To me, the tower is always happening in life. It's just part of life, part of the major arcana. And it can definitely represent to me, it's a good card because those people have been ignoring reality. So now they're getting a shock to the system. They're, seeing reality for what it is, but it's reality. It's what they really need to see. So, it's like, how is it a bad thing to see things for how they actually are? I don't think that's a bad thing, but you have the sun. So this tells me that this is something that is happy that's coming in for you. And again, like, I kind of get that feeling where it could be love and you're like, oh, holy crap, I can't believe this person's interested. Now what? Like, it's almost like it gets a little bit too real, but maybe in a good way. You have the Six of Cups here. Six of Cups could definitely be love, obviously. So I feel like there could be a new person coming in for you with the Six of Cups. And, a lot of readers read it as the past coming back. I do not, because if you read a lot of tarot books like I do, it does not represent someone coming back from the past. It can represent thinking about the past, but there are books like Golden Tarot, for example. It says, do not go back to the past, very specifically. It says, do not get stuck in nostalgia. Basically, don't get stuck in the past. So, what I would say here is that for a lot of you, I feel like this is new love. It can represent a soulmate, very childlike connection, and you have the sun, which can represent kind of like your inner child. And I would say that it's more likely that you're attracting a new person, Page of Pentacles, where it's that kind of like brings out that childlike playfulness in you. With the Two of Swords, you have this Lilith card. This is not a Lenormand card. This is just a card that comes in this deck, an extra card, and it says sensual, powerful female, sexual, wild and tame, passion, independence, and mystery. All those things come up here in this reading, so you could be attracting a person like that. I actually don't feel too bad about her card either. So, again, it could be a very strong connection with a person. With the Tower and the Sun, you have the Crossroads. The Crossroads represents having a choice to make in the Lenormand, obviously. And, there are some decks like the Enchanted Lenormand that call this card the Crossing instead of the Crossroads. And I kind of feel like the Crossing makes a little bit more sense than the Crossroads with like what this card is meant to represent, which it's kind of meant to represent needing to go through something to have something great. And it doesn't even have to be that difficult, right? And that's what the Two of Swords is saying to me in this reading. It's like there's something else, something better. Maybe you have to go through something. Could be like a long distance relationship where obviously someone is going to have to move. to make it work, and that could be what you have to go through. It could be like starting a business, and maybe you have to learn new things. It could be improving your health, and maybe you have to learn new things. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But this is a card of kind of like evaluating your choices and looking at the new choices you have to make. And actually, pretty good card for Mercury retrograde, because we have a retrograde coming up this month. Because I think retrogrades really give us a good amount of time to really think about things, really say like, do I want this or that in life? So I think it would be a good time for, if you're making a decision or you have a choice to make, to kind of like think about what you want. With the Six of Cups, you have the cross. The cross is about carrying a burden. And, I feel like for some of you, this is about releasing the burden of the past. If you're still, sorry, it's funny because I just made the joke that, to Cancer, I think, that whoever made, the girl that made this deck, she must coat these things in butter because it's like they're super slippery. But I do love these decks. Amazing. But what I would say is that, I feel like the burdens of the past need to be released. Like for some of you, there could be some blocks in love because of a past person. Again, I feel like a new person could be coming in for you that will shock you because they're very different than the past person. Next, also, I would stop thinking harder, I would stop thinking about working harder. I think in work or business, you could be coming up with ideas that make things easier. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this card that says, the crescent moon, as the moon grows, so can your wealth, health, and happiness. Stay positive. Yes. I really do get the feeling of a quick turnaround for you here, Scorpio, in this weekly reading. Maybe you go from not having money to all of a sudden making more money. I kind of get that feeling, or like an unseen opportunity with that unseen card. So there seem to be some big improvements coming in for you. You have the Three of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles. So Three of Pentacles obviously says teamwork makes the dream work. Whatever it is that you're creating, I feel you could be creating a lot of success. Also, if you're getting into a relationship, you could be meeting a person that really wants to work on a team. I love the Three of Pentacles for love because it's like a card of someone who wants to work towards something of quality. It's like they don't just want something just to have it, they want quality, which we have Uranus and Taurus. And I always say, like, if there was ever a time where we should be focusing on quality, not quantity, it is right now. So, I feel that for a lot of you. You have the Seven of Pentacles. Again, I feel like you are making the decision to walk away from the past for some of you. Seven of Pentacles is a change in direction. And you have right next to it, you have that Crossroads card. So it really looks like to me that a lot of you are choosing a new path, choosing a new direction, and it's going to be much more successful than anything you've done before. You have the Page of Pentacles here. It could be any sign. Earth definitely stands out to me. So if you're interested in an Earth sign, I would say go for it with the Page of Pentacles. Either way, there needs to be communication. And again, some of you could be communicating with a person and you're just shocked. They could be communicating with you and you're shocked that they actually are talking to you. So, again, I would go for it with the Page of Pentacles. I also feel that a lot of you, again, major increases in your finances if you're doing the work. With the Three of Pentacles, you have the Scythe. The Scythe is about cutting something out, but again, this is the good stuff, so it's going to be positive no matter what. So I feel you have the Seven of Pentacles, which could also kind of represent a harvest. So there could be a harvest coming in for you, but I also feel like you could be kind of cutting one thing out of your life and stepping into something much better. Again, normally the Scythe is not considered to be a positive card, but like I said, this is the good stuff, so it's going to be good no matter what. I feel like you're cutting a toxic person out, plain and simple. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have this anchor. The anchor is a card of safety, security, comfort, and protection. Like a boat anchors itself so that it can stay in place. I feel if you're attracting love, you could be attracting something that is like anchored in place, something that's going to last for a very long time, something that is kind of like immovable. So that's pretty much all I get there, Scorpio. I feel like I keep saying Cancer, and so it could be a Cancer that you're attracting, by the way. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the mice. The mice represents very slow progress. When you think about it, mice chew through walls very slowly. And so in the Lenormand, the mice can represent slow progress. But what I would say here is that, obviously there's something much quicker coming in for you. This is showing up in the good stuff. Maybe it's been slow progress in like love or otherwise. And I feel like you're starting to make faster progress like in work or business or even love. But again, I really do feel a lot more like financial luck for you here, Scorpio. So, if you've been struggling with your finances or improving your finances, it looks like that's kind of speeding up for you as well. I'm going to pull 5 main themes for you now. You have this detachment card. I feel like you're detaching from things that no longer serve you. So, I definitely like to see that. You have this practicality card. I feel like you're attracting something very straightforward in your life. So you could be attracting like a person where it's like a very straightforward connection. It's like what they say is what they are. I kind of get that energy, very practical type of energy. Next, you have this submission card, set yourself free. This card always reminds me of the Eight of Swords. This bird is trapped in this cage, but it just needs to set itself free. And, that's what I would do if I were you, is set yourself free. It's like, or there is like a lot of freedom. I kind of get the feeling here in this reading that you could be making something a little more complicated than it needs to be. Could be love, could be business, whatever. And I feel like there's something much more simple coming in. You have this resourcefulness card. It is a time of resourcefulness. I would say that, I keep telling people, even if you had $1 billion in the bank account, if you can do something without money, like starting a business, even if you have the money and you can do it without money, I would do it without money. It's like, I think the universe really rewards resourcefulness. Same thing in love as well. It's like, obviously, if it's long distance, you're going to have to be resourceful. And finally, you have this decision card. Yeah, there is a choice to be made. I would pick the new path, plain and simple. The answer is very simple here. There's like something new. The past might be toxic, whether it's love or a job or whatever it is. There's like clearly a new situation is much more lucky. So love it. Thank you for being here, Scorpio. Really appreciate it. And definitely enjoy your week.